talk about was how, the state of our democracy. Specifically how it seems that wherever, in the English-speaking world at least, I'm Canadian, but God knows what's happening in the States is similar, in fact, a little worse than up here. In the UK, I don't know what the hell, It seems that everywhere democracy is in a slow but sustained decline. And what do you do about that? It seems that people can't get out the vote. People are willing to give the government a free pass on freedoms and rights and stuff in the name of security, which is a terrible concept. Not that we need to live an unsecured life, but why do you have to trade one for the other? Why does security have to come with a degradation of basic freedoms? Funny thing, in the last couple of elections, if they had gone the way my Facebook and Twitter feeds had made it sound, we would have had a socialist government, maybe minority. We would have had the conservatives tossed out on their arse. But the thing is, and this is a bit of a danger, we tend to view the wider world the way we see our own little piece of cyberspace, because, you end up, your Facebook feed tends to be relatively full of people who think the way you do. Your Twitter feed tends to be full of people who think relatively similarly to the way you do, And so then you think that something's going to go one way, and then the wider world out there who aren't your friends, digital or otherwise, actually, makes a move. You're like, what happened? Everything was saying, and at the end of the day, it's just we tend to only view the world. So that was awkward. I'm using a loaner phone, and my old iPhone had a large amount of space on it. I think it was a 64 or something. That one spent an entire set at one of my gigs sitting in a glass of beer. I guess the vibrations from my bass amp, fired it off the table into someone's pint. Anyway, so that phone's dead. So this is a loaner. And it's only got 16 gig on it. So I ran out of space. It's easier to give the government a pass, it seems, when the alternative means getting off our asses. It's hard enough to get people to get out and vote, let alone actually take the government to task, even writing a letter to your representative, But stuff like that is useful, reminding our governing class that they are there because we hired them for a job is useful. The thing is, historically speaking, whenever things start to go off the rails, everything descends into a hell for the common man until suddenly, someone throws a brick, and then they start cutting the heads off the aristocracy. And I'm not much of a revolutionary. I don't think that it has to be that way. It doesn't have to go to, torches and pitchforks, Here in Canada, we've elected a very popular prime minister. Apparently he's great looking. He's really mediagenic. He's done a lot of really cool things so far. But that doesn't mean that he's not going to sell us down the river once, the hard work starts. Because he hasn't been prime minister for even a year yet, Sorry about that, guys. I ran out of space on this miraculous phone again. So I'll just try to be as quick as possible. Yep, that's a Fisker Karma right behind me. That's a bunch of money I just don't have. The most frustrating thing about losing the battery over and over and over again is that every time it disappears, I lose my place. Had to go to the laundromat and wash a couple of really big blankets for my mother-in-law. Way too big for our machines at home. That's how exciting life can be on occasion. You have got to be kidding me. That guy's double parked. That guy's double parked. And that right there is my car. I guess what I'm trying to say, you know, in between all the interruptions, because I keep filling up my the space on my phone, is don't mistake patriotism for just accepting everything your government does. You know, especially when it's the kind of stuff that isn't making the country better for everyone. Take them to task. Find a way to make the government do right by the people. And then maybe people in other countries will see that as an example to follow and force their governments to do something right by their people. And just maybe, eventually, at some point, the world will be a better place. This is hard to do with one hand. But you know, and if you don't know what to do, if you don't know what the secret is, well, I'm there too. You know, but at least have the conversation. Talk about it. Maybe someone will come up with a brilliant idea. That's really all I got to say. So, whoops. That's all I got to say. You know, I'm probably about to run out of space again. Okay, we need milk. Today we're just going for what we can afford. 1%. That's good. And we're out of here.
You gotta guess.
Is blue a seahorse?
Jungle. No, seahorse is pink. It's in the jungle and it goes around the trees.
Snake.
Yes.
Nice.